to Sam's second question. Do you support the decision the government's announced today to loosen these restrictions on July the 4th, including the 2-metre rule? And to you, Prime Minister, I was speaking to a Conservative MP today who said Britain is going bust. People are scared to go out of their homes, to go back to the shops and pubs. I'm a little bit unclear about whether you think it's a good idea to go out and about now. And if you do think that's a good idea, what can the government do to give people the confidence they need to get the economy going again?
Patrick, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So on the 2-metre, I mean, I repeat what I've said, that actually I think you can get to 1 metre with mitigations, which gives you the same risk as 2 metres, and therefore that's a perfectly reasonable approach to take, provided, as Chris said, the mitigation measures are properly applied and people adhere to them. So there is a way to do that, and that's what the new rules say. In terms of the package that's been announced, it is not risk-free. It cannot be risk-free. Every time you take a step to open up, there is some associated risk with that. The right way to deal with that is then to monitor, measure, and be prepared to take steps to reverse things as they need to be. So in terms of, is this package one that is reasonable and one that actually would allow you to do that and measure? Yes, you can do this and measure. And you need to be prepared where there's local outbreaks to deal with them locally. And if they become beyond local, then you need to deal with them at regional and national levels, which would mean reversal of some of the measures. And that is the only way in which you can then keep on top of this. So measuring and monitoring becomes an incredibly important part of this.
Thanks very much. Well, George, let me just say, I think it's great to see people out shopping again, and frankly, I can't wait to go to a pub or a restaurant, even if it may not be wholly compatible with the new diet that I'm on. And I hope that people will. I think people need to go out. I think people need to enjoy themselves and rediscover things that they haven't been able to do for a long time. And I want to see bustle. I want to see activity. But let's be absolutely clear that I also want to see everybody being careful, staying alert, and following the guidance. And so far, I think everybody has shown a massive common sense. They've worked together. They've stuck to the plan. We've got the thing under control. Let's keep it under control. We've set out a way of doing it. The guidance is there. Let's follow it, and then we can make even more progress together. Can we go to Mesa Hall of the Daily Express?
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. Good afternoon. To the scientists, you both said that we're in this for the long haul with many of the restrictions still. As this is the last of these daily briefings, what is your best guess at the moment of how long it's going to take before we do finally see the back of the hand sanitizers and the face coverings? Is it going to be years if we don't find a vaccine? And Prime Minister, to follow up on George's question, really, economic data suggests that many households who've been fortunate enough to stay in work have built up savings during the lockdown. Do you really want to encourage those people to get out and to spend and to get down the pubs and cinemas and hairdressers and make July the 4th a bit of a day of national celebration to kick off the recovery? And could I ask you, Prime Minister, what is the one restored freedom that you are most looking forward to enjoying again on July the 4th?
Sorry, Patrick, Chris, why don't you go first?
Well, I can't put a time on how long this will take, and I think that the ways in which we get out of this I've described, which are either it goes away, which I don't think it will, or we wait for a vaccine and therapeutics to really enable us to do it. We're on the way with therapeutics. We're on the way with therapeutics. So there are some. That does create an opportunity. And vaccines, there are projects in the clinic, and we need to wait and see whether any of those have got the right profile to work. And I think those are the key ways in which we think about exiting this. And I'm optimistic that somewhere in there, and I can't tell you exactly where, there's going to be some progress. And I think most likely in therapeutics to start off with, but fingers crossed one of these vaccines will come good. And I think it's highly likely that one of them will do something, and we just need to wait. I'm afraid it's a game of patience.
If I could, so I would be surprised and delighted if we weren't in this current situation through the winter and into next spring. I think then let's regroup and work out where we are. But I expect there to be significant amount of coronavirus circulating at least into that time. And I think it's going to be quite optimistic for science fully to come to the rescue over that kind of time frame. But I have an absolute confidence in the capacity of science to overcome infectious diseases. It has done that repeatedly, and it will do that for this virus, whether it's by drugs, vaccines, or indeed other things that may come into play. So, for the medium to long term, I'm optimistic, but for the short to medium term, until this time next year, certainly I think we should be planning for this for what I consider to be the long haul out into 2021.